But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been like that every year. Good morning, Mr. Surveyor. Morning. We are back from our recess and call the meeting back to order. We are live streams on, Audra. And we are on to county surveyor. Go ahead, Williams. You got anything you want to share with us before we? I'll just pretty much same things every year, haven't really changed anything, some point in the future, I'll probably try to throw a GPS unit in there, but I'll hold off for another year or two. I'm digging for my highlighter.
Did you add that category professional services? You ever had that before, or maybe we have and never used it, I don't know. $300.
I think that was for technology, right? Professional services was to get the computer stuff, and the software was for the Adobe, which has an annual subscription. Gotcha. And your cornerstone replacement and seated. Yeah. 11, 12, 2, yeah. Level request 50,000. Yeah, are you, how much more we got before we start over? I don't think it'll be quite the end of my term, be close. We got east of Spurgeon to do, and then I got the northwest county or northwest corner to do in the 40. It's gonna take a minute. The putting off the French survey as long as possible. That's gonna cost more. There's not much out there. Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit more expensive than what we're into now. After a little bit too, because what we got left, pretty much hard stuff, so. Not a lot of easy stuff anymore. Your perpetuation fund is. How's that do? What's your cash balance on
At the
perpetuation?
end of July, I had 4,392.85. And a year-to-date income for 26 is 6,266.
Did we go red on it earlier this year?
I don't think so, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, we tied on that, because we've got a budget, there's $10,000 balance, and I don't know if I'll hit that before the end of the year or not. All contracts I'm working on right now.
Do we need to let that breathe a little bit and catch back up?
When we adopted a budget of 10,000, but it says there's been 29,450 expenditures from there this year,
That was, some carryover.
from the prior year.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't come with some.
Yeah, we budgeted 50,000 in, but we budgeted 50,000 in 25, so we could have had a carryover.
She's asking for 10,000, there's only currently only cash balance of 6 in the fund.
I've still got a little bit in my balance for, see the budget for this year yet, so yeah, I'll get pretty tight on that one, so, but yeah, if we could swing the all of the seed for a year, that would probably be helpful.
So you're saying change. Zero this, let it breathe and put an extra 10,000 in seeded.
I mean, if that would work for you guys, I'm just trying to keep things kind of tight and.
Judy, you got any
I would agree.
input on that?
Zero that.
I think I might do that for a year, so this program can continue.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's the only, anybody else have anything? Pretty straightforward.
Be nice if we get this all done and then, you know, moving forward, get a GPS unit and whatever can go out. Get enough corners, take care of that.
So when you have your own tech for that, you won't have to reestablish them, you just go out and
Find them.
you just go out and find them and
Yeah,
document them and check.
Yeah, you just gotta go check them, so, like, once it's all done, then you can start going out and just verifying or replacing if you have to replace more too.
Then you only have to reset it if for some reason it's gone.
Yeah, it gets obliterated, so for some reason,
How many years have you been catching them?
this is year 12 for me.
This some of what you're working on, print had started with package, something.
Print just started on a little bit, yeah.
I remember Brent was really proud of it, getting this
Yeah.
program started.
Yeah, it did, I mean, it did get started and that's, yeah, need a little bit of help going forward with it, but yeah, it's get started.
It's been a 20-year project base.
Yeah, we're getting close to it, yeah. I think 07 was kind of first and then it's just a couple corners and it really didn't start more filled out of the way, you know.
I'm trying to reach.
I'm sure Rich and Randy both can attest to this, but the cost to our residents for private surveys.
Yeah, it's high. And the surveyors are down in numbers, so they're all busy, so they're supply and demand and insurance, liability insurance that they have to carry is really high and.
But just the way the market affects here, because we have this program, it is less expensive for a private survey
Yes,
than it would be.
Yeah.
If we still were,
yeah, because, you know, if you had a survey done and you didn't have anything for, in your section, you had to go out and bring it in, then you're probably talking $4,000 or $5,000 survey for just a little chunk.
They're, like you said, they're 5 weeks out.
Yeah, at least,
Okay. Well. Thanks, Rich.
Yep, thank you.
You put 60 in.
I did, I put 60 in edit. And took, to let him recuperate some fees to collect in the fee-based fund.
Thanks, guys.
Melanie, Circuit Court.
I'm just sorry you couldn't be here. They sent me in his place. One of the things that we've asked for an increase in is postage. We have not asked for postage increase for a while. We actually cut it down. However, we are seeing an increase in civil cases, which increases the amount of postage that has to go out. Not everyone has an email address that we can send this to, so then we're having to do that. The first thing, first year when we get our postage, we have to sit there and take out for the jurors that we send out the questionnaires. And we pull 1,000, and there's 2 envelopes for each one of those, so that's 2,000 stamps that go out. That's why we've asked for an increase in there, because we had a little leeway, but with the increase in postage, the increase going out, we're just getting to a point that we just have to ask for a little bit more.
You're not the only department that's had that,
Um,
because of the rates going up.
Yeah, the rates are-
Most departments are asking for more for postage.
yeah, we've tried, we've done as what we could not to, if they have an attorney, the attorney gets it, it's up to them and stuff, so we just got to the point we had to ask for a little bit more. And then the other thing was, for the, I'm sorry. The computer maintenance, the contracts for, that we have to have in a different line item now, to pay for them, to keep everything up and going. So we've had to ask, Judy's office made another line item, and we're having to ask for money to put in there so we can keep up with our maintenance contracts with those. And then the other thing we asked for, the standard increase for Palmer that everyone else is asking, and then the judge just wanted the council to be aware what other area court reporters are making, and that we're significant lower. He understands with the economy now and everything, with what the county's bringing in and stuff, this is quite a bit to ask for. But he just wanted you guys to be aware, that's why he had the, I'm sorry, I've got a headache this morning, I'm having difficulty thinking. That's why he wanted the chart made up, so you can see which different counties, what their reporters make and stuff. And that would just get us up basically closer to what they make. And I think that's everything that covers what we've asked for.
Yes, all the surrounding counties are almost are paying their court reporters more than we pay our elected officials. For the most part.
He just wanted you to
Right.
be aware. And I'm sorry, I do remember last year you wanted us to, about the jury pay, take out the other account, and we have been doing that. Because there was the other account. And so we have been doing that as well.
Melanie, the one question I had when I read that was, no use of it for the grand jury under jury pay users. Was
Right.
there, what, I didn't know what the rationale was on that, because your fund would support more at this time.
Okay. I'm not for sure. I just know we just took it somewhere else to put in there because it was just, I believe the amount to cover was just like $95 and some change. That was in excess of what the grand jury was, so. As of right now, I'm not for sure if we're gonna have another grand jury. That's pretty much up to the state because they're the ones that request it. If they would, we would have to figure out where we're gonna transfer funds into that account. And how we would do that, but right now, as we stand, we're okay.
You want to comment anything on the CASA line item?
Oh, the CASA line item, I'm sorry. The reason for that is CASA provided us. They had received a letter from the state CASA program coordinator, and on that, it lists each county and the estimated 2027 capacity grant. What they could get and what we would need to ask for matching. And they are the ones that stated that Pike would be eligible if we put up matching $16,409, that we would be eligible for $7,036. So that's where that number came from. I can make copies and provide it to Judy to forward that to you. Like, I'm sorry, I forgot to.
This is different from what CASA was wanting to happen, right, John?
Correct, that's two different issues.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is. They're telling us if you set your amount here, this is
That's what,
that's what you need to do to get the maximum matching funds from the
Yeah.
state.
Right.
that's what they did. That's where that number.
That's what this number is. The other issue is a separate structural issue that I think we're just beginning to have some conversations about, so.
So again, I'm sorry, I didn't.
No,
forward
no,
that
it's-
copy, But I've got it.
I thought that's what, I have one Excel cell and all this is crammed into it, and
Yeah.
that, it says that I want to make sure that's what it says.
Yeah, no problem.
Melanie, could report it one more time, what was the match amount?
The match amount that we would need to do was $6,409. And then we would get $7,036.
16409, Judy.
Okay. And I've got that down, but the
Yeah,
match is
that's
seven
what's in.
thousand.
$7,036.
It's in the notes on the spreadsheet.
That's good.
So it's a 2-for-1 or.
States always match that, to my recall,
Mhm.
they've done it all.
The other conversation Greg and I were having. CASA, the way it's structured currently, the CASA director is not an employee. Over the state, it varies whether they're an independent employee of the not-for-profit CASA program or whether they're a county employee. CASA board and the CASA director has expressed some interest in changing that structure here now, to go back years ago, I think it was a county employee.
Not that I remember.
You don't think so?
Not that I remember.
But, and that may have been before it was, but that's a whole different conversation about adding staff, and benefits and all those things. So I had initial conversation with the judge. He said the conversation was being driven by the CASA board. It was not being driven by the circuit court. And so that needs to be processed through before they bring anything back to us for requests.
Council board prefer that. Council director be a full-time Pike County employee with friendly benefits. Pension, health insurance. On and on. Right now, it's a nonprofit organization, 501c3. And they contract with the director for services. At an amount considerably lower than what they're thinking they might want to do, so. An expensive proposition for the county to take that on.
When it started, I think they were just volunteers.
Yeah, I think maybe it was a stipend, but it was never a full-time, because it was never a full-time county position.
There was a stipend, I think, Judge Stratton. Cindy Ganson used to be. Who is it now?
Booth,
Sharon's
Sharon's daughter-in-law. or
Sharon Booth's daughter.
Granddaughter-in-law.
Granddaughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granddaughter,
Oh,
it's not Shauna. And I did verify with the state, there are 4 in the county. 4 in the state, excuse me, with that same structure that they are currently on, the rest are county
Oh, really?
affiliates, yes, I did check that out.
We're always the outlier. Not a topic for today, but that's where that conversation is. All right. Do we want to go to the public defender?
Well, and
You're making notes.
And I'm highlighting it on that sheet. 120,000.
And as of January 2027, the fee is going to go up to 120 an hour that we're going to pay them. So we received notification of that shortly around the time we were preparing for the budget and everything like that, so. It's just,
So there's no increase built into the budget for this year. It's a level request.
it's a level request and we're just waiting to see, because as of right now, when we pay out, then we get the reimbursement, then we use the reimbursement to pay for the rest of the year. And that's what we're waiting to see. Hopefully that will continue on and be fine. The judge is trying his best not to ask for any more in the pauper council.
Yeah, what was the rate before 120?
110, yeah,
Not astronomical, but
no,
But it'll add up.
but it was the public defender's office in the state, that's the one that we go by, that everyone has to go by when we get the reimbursements, and they're the ones that increased it as well. We also, last week, I forgot to say that we got the notice that the jury mileage has went up to 64 cents a mile that we have to pay jurors now. So that's increased, and we received notification that they're gonna continue to watch it, the state is. And if unfortunately things keep inflating, they're gonna, move up on that. We had not counted on that. We are just trying to work with what we've got, not to ask for any more and hopefully get through. We do have, I printed out our jury list for the rest of the year. We have several. So, but there's no guarantee these jury is going. We do have a jury trial set for next week. But because we have, like I said, the 2 accounts for the jury, we should be okay with jury fees and not have to ask for anything additional there. But we are seeing, like everyone else is, costs that's going up because of the inflation, but we're still trying to work within our budget.
I just had it in my head that we've been eating into the cash balance of this supplemental public defender. Do you know if that's true, Judy?
It,
The balance, so over the
it
last,
does get reimbursed.
over the last 3 or 4 years, I'm thinking we've been eating into it.
Yeah, we've been getting into, we start using it about June or July. And then that gets us through to the end of the year after we've used everything else that's
Right.
been budgeted. And then as the next year, then it bounces back up again.
But I'm thinking, in general, it's been,
Mhm. We're going to get to a point where we're not going to have that,
we're gonna have to do a little more
yeah,
in the
and,
general fund, I think, at some point.
yeah, we're trying to hold off as long as we can to do that, but
And Jeff tried to take as little as he had to from the general fund when he was judged, and I think Evan's following those footsteps.
yeah, we're trying not to, he's trying not to do that as much, so.
But I'm just pointing out, that may have to come,
Yeah, last year it had 67,000 deposited back into it.
right? Yeah, deposited back, and we took more than 67 out, so.
Well, much like our probation conversations, it's,
Let's not go there.
it is what it is. Okay. All right,
I think the board issue.
and then you kind of talked about the jury pay already,
I mean, update. We've got 93 so far this year, 93,000. So we're doing better this year.
on jury or
Yeah, revenue, yeah, no, that, well,
on the supplemental.
supplemental, so they're doing better this year. Don't know what she does.
Say that again.
93,000 we brought in this year.
Year to date.
And something was missed and it was transferred in from last year, is what our notes say.
Good.
All right. Anything else for Melanie?
Did we do 2503?
The jury? Yeah, I mean, she already talked about it. It was level requests.
Okay.
On, we didn't have it in front of us when she mentioned it.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's 12,000 and 3,000. Is the mileage paid out of the per diem also, or is that?
It's paid out of it. It's when we use the form to figure out the calculations, the state form. It's figured all in together and it comes out of the same account.
That line item?
Yeah.
Thanks, Melanie.
Next.
Mr. Yon. And Brenda. Miss Brenda. So start in the general 0235.
We're pretty much requesting the same amount as we did last year, other than the increases in salaries for the probation officer positions and then assistant probation officer position. Collins, salary is, increasing based on experience, and that is the minimum salary for probation officers that the state has set.
Since the state froze the wage, the judge wants you to have a 3% if the county gets 3%.
Yes, sir.
The, remind me,
I
you
I
have,
get it, I get it. I'm more disappointed with our lobbyists at the state level, but we've always followed the minimum salary, so I think for you guys, we put in a situation that.
No,
he's wanting to
I
increase,
just want
it is what
to
it is.
get it in my head. I wasn't
years-
being critical of any.
Yeah, there's years where I've gotten raises that nobody else has, so it just, what goes around comes around, you know?
Yeah, he feels bad about asking for 3%, but the judge, that's what he requested.
so there's 4 staff line items, right? There's your line item for Chris. There's a probation officer line item of 28,314.
That's Collins.
That's Collins, but
He
okay.
gets paid out of 2.
And then
different
you
things.
have, oh, my bad. I saw the juvenile detention number
Yeah,
and I thought that was the juvenile probation officer number. I thought there was a 4th position there. So I was like, what is going on? That's the detention line.
yes,
My bad, because he's juvenile. Okay,
yes.
I'm with you.
And he gets paid out of 2,100 and out of 1,000.
Is it 50/50?
Brenda, this wage that's on your budget. Does that include what the additional the judge wants, or is that the 3%?
Of me,
No, for Chris.
and Chris, it's a 3%.
So if they want him to have more, they have to add.
No.
Yes.
No, it's
Already
included in there.
requested more.
We've already.
If we want
That's what I
to,
was
if we want
asking.
to take him to the minimum, we have to take 3% off.
Yes,
Okay, that's,
But you've been froze for a couple of years, right?
this is second.
Otherwise, that number would be the same as 2026.
If we approve this with a raise. And next year the minimum goes up, in my opinion, it would be a different conversation. You wouldn't always be 3% above minimum. It would be, we'd have to look at whatever the minimum is
I would believe so.
at the next, at the next year and. Yeah, it wouldn't be tied.
You'd be right.
It wouldn't be-
right to be, but now I'm also above the 3% when Colin wouldn't be, I would be.
Mhm. Okay.
She knows what I'm thinking.
There's none.
We have lots of talks.
Brenda, is your incentive built into that number?
yes.
Okay. My mind's going back to the court reporter conversation we just had.
It used to be separate, but now it's all.
My question is, and I don't know. If. And I certainly, you know, whatever, I know they work hard. What happens by statute? If we go the 3 or whatever, and then next year it says. Cause they don't care what the amount is, right? It's a minimum dollar,
Right. We have to pay at least that.
right?
So if he's 3% over everybody else, he'll just 3% over everybody else. Of course, we're not gonna ask for another 3%, but he's just gonna be 3% over if they give him a raise next year.
So it would still stay within the, whatever that minimum is, in
Yes.
your opinion, is what you're saying.
So if we give him 3% this year, next year, the state gets 2%, we can cut him 1%.
I was waiting for that.
Well,
Sure.
will this board remember all that? No,
That's where I was going.
Yeah,
They could give him a 6% raise next year. I mean,
yeah,
state
yeah, we
minimum.
don't know.
Not likely, but
Right.
But you have to meet at least that minimum.
yes.
You have to.
Yeah, the statute says, yeah, we have to.
So you're currently at the same base rate as what a court reporter is.
Yes. That's why I just did it that way instead of.
Yeah.
We know when it occurs.
All right. Do we dare talk about juvenile detention?
Yeah. If you want to,
That doesn't require much.
yeah,
We gotta do whatever they gotta do.
But under Wills, we have spent 73,000 already this year.
73.
Yeah, $73,873.
we have a girl in detention right now, so. It'll be at least 1,000. Maybe at the box or more. Yeah. He gets them all released and then we should forward.
Who's that? Incoming.
What's the story on the thing at Vincent's?
Actually, me and Colin went, along with the sheriff and Aaron Simpson with DCS, last week, the week before, took a tour of the place and it's ready to go. They just don't have staff, certifications they need to go. We're trying to, and it's taken over by a new company out of Pennsylvania and they've spent a lot of money.
Have they established what the rates are gonna be?
They didn't give us any concrete answers, but I would say it would be an increase. But to be competitive, we're not really, they can pretty much charge whatever they want. And some of them, Johnson County's charging us $200, which I think is
Well,
pretty
the
fair.
savings probably be the road time with the deputy.
Yeah, we're 35 minutes to Benson's, hour and a half to Terre Haute is
Yeah.
the next closest.
And you can't always use that.
No, they're just, if they don't have any vacancies, they say, no, we're not taking anybody at this time.
Will they be able to find staff? What are the credentials to do that, John?
Good question.
They're very optimistic. I would put money on it. We tried to get kind of a timeline of when are you expecting to take your first juvenile, and it will be at the detention level. They're spending a lot of money, updating the cottages for residential programs that DCS fund, which doesn't pertain to us, but it could be for our kids. We're just strictly talking the detention part of it. They just gotta get staff, they gotta get certified, they gotta get a nurse in there, a practitioner. The way he talked, the gentleman that we met with, he's not anticipating that they would be taking a juvenile before the first of the year. So I would say they'll be ready by the beginning of maybe the summer of 2027. That's what they're very, like I said, they're very eager, they're very motivated because they spent so much money getting this going. From the outside, it looks like it's run down because if you only mow the grass once a month, it's gonna look bad. But when we got in there, we were all surprised that, you know, they were even talking about, we still need to get pest control to come in. It was place clean. And of course, it's mostly concrete, but it was cleaned. It was not run down. We were all impressed. All four of us were like, wow, this is better than we were anticipating. So we're encouraged to, place. I'm sorry.
What do you do someplace?
We can, if there's many facilities around the state of Indiana that we just go down the list, and if we call them all and nobody takes them, we have to release them either to their parents or we can put them on home monitoring, either home detention, GPS monitoring. So we at least have, there is some accountability there, but all it takes is a knife to cut that device. Let's face it, it's like a protective order, it's just a piece of paper. It's just rubber.
Most of your people is that. Is it a good option?
What, home detention?
A lot of them have been
No.
sex offenders, sexual crimes. One of them, you wouldn't want to send back to where the victim, you know, you don't send them back home to where the victim is. So you have to place them somewhere.
And it's very time consuming for Colin, because, I mean, like he says, it just goes down the list. If they have any kind of behavior issues, they're like, no, we don't want him.
He's, Colin's built
That
some
could be
pretty good bridges with
Yeah.
Vigo County. We maintain a good relationship with Johnson County, Clark County. Those are our closest places, 2 hours, hour and a half. But that's still a long haul for the sheriff's department because 2 hours there, 2 hours back, that's 4 hours. It's already half a day.
I guess my question is back to this. Every year we put a placeholder in here of this amount, that's a low amount, and we always come back and ask for it. I mean, it's not like they spend this if there's not a court order to spend
Right.
it. I think this number, I mean, yeah, we're going. I still think 50,000 is an unrealistic number. And I would rather see us bump this up to, you know, like a $70,000 number or something like that, because, I mean, the history's there, that's what we're spending.
I think 7 is short.
I do
I mean,
too.
they're already at 73,
Right.
that's for it.
Well, we did look at the numbers over the last 15 years, and there were years where we were only spending $50,000.
And if you only spend 50,
$200 a day.
We wouldn't want to, just because it's in there, we don't want to spend it.
you're not gonna transfer it to buy a, you know, copier.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
We're
my
not gonna-
thought on it is, when I ask for this amount, then, you know, that's all that's coming out of the general fund. If we don't need it, that's fine. If we do need it, then we can ask for it. But I like, well, yeah, okay, we only have to use the amount this much out of the general fund, that's great, instead of asking for a big amount, and then it needs to go somewhere else. Probably not, but
the supplemental juvenile, let's look at that real quick.
You expect the rate of anything to be similar to the other, the big savings.
I would hope so. Would hope so.
Yeah, I've been over to Scott Brown, since we over past that place when I was over there. For the meetings and with all, that's been a year ago. Rolling fan in them.
Yeah, it does look advantage.
Shame.
And I did so, it's very nice. It's huge. It's
Oh, yeah.
huge.
Names.
I mean, they can house. They can have a lot of juveniles there. I know they were hiring a landscaping, person sometime this week, next week, so. They were just kind of contracting that out, to get out there and get a mow in once in a while, so. From the outside, the appearance will look more attractive.
Not a real.
No, I think it's built 94. I think that's what they said. Yes.
So supplemental juvenile is only used for transport costs.
right, it's the general fund, the 1,000 is for detention.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
I just don't see the need to take up council's time, to take up publications, to do additional appropriations, but I mean, it's good to know what's going on, don't get me wrong. But
Well, we can let you know anytime.
What do you want to say right there?
So you can still talk about what you're paying out. We paid out 39,75 last. 25. But then the year before that it was 81,675.
So,
Right, that's why it's so high this year, for November.
We don't need motions today.
26.
So could have been roughly 50. Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
And
We'll put 80 in, everybody okay with putting 80 in there?
I hope they don't need it.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's still there, you know.
Don't try to buy a printer with it.
We could, do not spend, just because it's in there, pay $20,000.
You have, this is exactly like pop return. What it is what it is, and we have no control over it, none.
No predictor of what it's gonna be.
No.
We
None.
don't know if the next juvenile issue is gonna blow up today, next week, or next month. It's just.
Well, you know, and then when you have, to me, it's on, that's why all these need to be accurate requests, because. If we undersell you, and then somebody looks at our general fund budget and they're, oh, they got plenty of money, and, no, yeah, but we're probably gonna come back, spend $50,000 more for,
Yeah,
you know, for juvenile detention, well, then let's get it in there.
If it's the same rate that you've used so far, it's gonna be 115,000.
If we spent 73,000 already, we're middle of August.
This is the two,
Yeah.
first state.
You could easily get 90 this year.
Mhm.
You know,
But I'm crossing my fingers that we stay right there. That's,
there's, speakers.
You have good years and bad years, just like.
yeah,
This year has 2 months and last year's had.
We paid the
yeah, we were
November
very,
and December bills in January.
Yes. very busy December.
I'm just saying that's the ratio.
They were crazy in their building.
yes. But they can ask for it, and get it, because they don't have any other choice.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe you only have to come back once instead of coming back twice.
That's one thing here, thinking, wouldn't that be wonderful? Not come back at all. Ask. Yeah, I'm sure.
We might think you quit or something.
Well, that's a possibility. Maybe,
Someday you'll be retired.
right, sure.
What about,
7 years.
what's your cash balance in the, adult probation?
Oh, that you would ask, and I don't have it right on me.
Not necessarily asking you,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, but if you got it,
What'd you ask?
I got it.
the supplemental adult, what the cash balance?
2,100.
Cash.
9,531. No, that's
I'm
2040.
gonna say supplement, no, we got a little more than that in there.
59.
Yeah.
Current, Audra said 61 currently,
Is that right?
731.
current cash balance,
788.
real time allow real time 61.
Supplemental adult was the cash balance.
Well, says cash balance 61,777.93.
And I did run that again this morning, so that is. I ran figures in loud. Enough today so we can get. What you're looking at,
I was looking at
61.
financials.
And those are
yeah, that's. the-
user fees.
Yes, probation user fees, they, the felonies are $30 a month and misdemeanors are 20. Plus any drug screens that we do, we put in that account.
They're, you know. I'm good with what I see. I refer to my colleagues here for other questions. Do we want to have any more discussion about the salary request?
Well, I assume we're gonna make decisions on the compensation on.
Next meeting, when,
that point.
yeah, I mean, floor is open for discussion.
Yeah, it's okay.
I do hate it that you haven't got any adjustment for what could be almost 3 years.
What it is.
As an FYI, just last night, something like 5:10 AM, PM, excuse me. got a notice from the state Supreme Court that they are talking about a bonus for municipal employees. This is out on the press. I sent an email asking what it was, starting at $2,500 and going down to, I believe it's 2,000. And not all positions, certain positions. Chief probation officer was one, prosecutor was one, chief prosecuting deputy was one, and I don't remember the other. And I don't know what it means.
From the state or from,
From the state.
that we have to know?
I will let you know as soon as I know.
They're ready.
Well, there you go.
And my understanding is that it's to be paid this year. Single term. And
So
it
much
does
for
go
that.
down in general fund.
Yeah, no
Okay,
kidding.
we're back to that.
There goes your 3%.
Sorry.
Here's a minute.
I have no idea what
Sure.
there was.
Yeah.
Oh, on their, on their set
So
minimum.
like if their salaries set by the state, county was gonna give them raises, I mean, his groceries ain't no cheaper than mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's true, but in past years, they've got considerably more percentage than the county had gotten in different ways. I don't know what it is, I just know it happened.
All right.
Yeah, sheriff, same way. 3 years.
I haven't got a raise in 3 years either.
That just, yeah.
Yes, we are one of the few counties that pay the minimum to sheriff.
Yeah, the 25, 26, and 27 are all three the same number. Sheriff's salary.
Remember, the sheriff's salary starts in
June.
July 1st,
Right.
right? Is when they're raised, as does the prosecutor and the judge.
Yeah, we do mid-year adjustments on those if we get new numbers. All right. Anything else you would like to tell us?
That's it.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Goodpaster.
Morning. I mean, ladies, gentlemen. Before diving into all this, I would like to address something that you guys have discussed in the meeting yesterday at the conclusion in reference to the different levels of pay for the assessors and their deputies. I quickly wrote out something this morning before the meeting. I just want to go over it and let you know briefly what that is. When a deputy is hired in the assessor's office, we try our best to get them to be a level 3. That way they're very knowledgeable of everything. In those steps, the first one, of course, their pay as a regular deputy is as of a regular deputy. Level 1, it's a 1-week course on residential property. They learn the cost, the income approach, sales comparison approach to value. They learn how to assess a residential property, how to determine and assess or assign grade and condition to the home. They learn about the differences in the different construction qualities, depreciations, how to use depreciation. They learn about annual adjustments, trending factors, getting property record card by hand. So when you print that out online, it's done by the computer, but you have to know how to do it by hand also. They dive into sales statistics and ratio studies. They have to take a test at the end of this 1-week course, and for a level 1, you do not receive any increase in pay for being a level one assessor. Level two, that's also a one-week course. It's very similar to level one, only everything's over commercial properties, downtown buildings, different structures for the different commercial properties. There is a test after that one as well that they must pass. If someone completes their level two, they do get it's a $500 increase in pay over a regular deputy. Level three, this one, it's a little different. It's a 5-week course. They touch on level one and level two, but everything to dive in a lot deeper.
Five weeks.
What's that?
5 weeks.
Yes. It's actually one class for each week. They dive into mass appraisal, data requirements, analysis, gets more into statistics, compiling home data, sales, income approach evaluation. They learn income capitalization, how to figure out if you have say a duplex and, you go through, you figure out the value based upon the income approach of that duplex. Use path, they have to take that. That's the Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice. This is a class that real estate appraisers have to take, or they cannot be licensed in Indiana. They actually have to take continuing education on that every 2 years. They have to retake that course just so they're up on all the new latest changes in use path. Basically just the overall real property appraisal. If they pass their level three, they have to take a test for each one and then a final exam. So there's multiple tests with that. Like I said, it's a 5-week course. Then they say pay them $500 more than a level two deputy because there's so much more involved. There's also continuing education involved. We have to take these continuing education classes quite regularly. And I made a note here, Judy made a comment, I completely agree with her. A lot of these jobs you can't do with an off the street person, I think since she quoted it. I think it's very important for some of these offices, if not all, to have extensive training so they know what they're doing. But I think the original intent from the legislators when they created this was that since the assessor's position, that's kind of the start of the whole process. We need to make sure they know what they're doing and how to do it, and that's why they give that pay bump to level two and level three deputies. After saying that, I will say, I am not saying don't increase deputies' pays. I'm all for that as well. And I'm all for people making as much money as they can. I just want to shed a little bit of light because it's not just like they don't hand them out willy-nilly to anybody. So there is a lot behind this and we have to keep up with this. So that's why.
Is there another level above 3?
No, but they're talking about it.
Okay.
I hope they don't, but yeah, that's,
What about the assessment?
about what?
Your rate?
My rate, if I pass a level two, if I'm a level two assessor, I get $1,000 and a level three assessor gets $1,500. That's over and above.
Very technical.
Do we build those stipends, those $500 stipends, are they built into?
No, it's not.
So it's built into salary? That was my question.
Yeah,
So their incentive would apply to the,
Yes.
after the 500's added.
That's
27, yeah, 27 cents an hour.
So how quickly can you go through those steps?
The level one course is a week and we try to, what I've done in the past, try to have them take that at conference because they do offer them at our conferences. The level two is a week. That's also a conference. In years past, and also currently, they do offer the level three courses outside of conference. But we have tried to create a path to where we can have those classes. They're actually taught by the IAAO, the International Association of Assessing Officers. So that's outside of the realm of our conference. So we have to invite IAAO instructors in, and the Assessors Association pays them to put on the course. So that's something fairly new the last.
So they're all in-person classes?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, so my question is, regardless of all the recent personnel shifts, if you hired a new college graduate today that was you're coming out with a business degree or whatever, and they were gonna work in your office. What realistically, how quickly can they go from uncertified to level 3?
You can do it in a few months if you push them.
So they don't have to have a certain amount of time as a level 1 before they take the level 2.
Yeah, well. Yes, I don't think you wanna rush people in. I mean, you could go in and give a level 1 and then a level 2, but it's not offered. Those are only at conferences.
So those are.
So yeah, there's about 6 months in between each conference. So if someone come in, I would send them to level 1 at the first conference. If they pass that, send them to the level 2, and then after that, then it's a 5-week course. Those are separated. They're not all back to back.
Right.
And then, that's a lot more, there's a lot more detail in there.
So year and a half, depending on the timeline and higher on.
Yeah, you could do it, if you, when I got my level 3, I actually paid for everything myself, and I went out and sought the classes. I went to different states to take those classes. So, yeah, you could do it in a quicker time, but I would say you could do it in, go into conferences. That way it costs the county a little less money. 1, 2. I would say 3 years, something like that, to get a level 3, if you go through the different conferences to get it.
Does the county pay for the courses?
They pay through it, yes, well, it depends. If they do it outside conference, it comes out of my funding, out of, travel expenses and stuff like that. If they do it through a conference, then it comes out of, I'm gonna call it Commissioner's Fund. I'm not sure the exact.
17.
Right,
Yeah.
but the county does pay for
Yes.
all
Yeah, now-
courses they take.
The county will pay for their registration to the conference and their hotel, which they do for everybody. But the state actually picks up the tab of putting on the level 1, the level 2, and all the level 3 courses. The DLGF pays for that. Because they want everybody to have these. So they foot the bill for the classes and the instructor.
And they do the course on county time, so they're being paid for it.
Yes, right, yeah.
That's good information.
But I didn't want you to guys think, or the way I looked at it yesterday, the conversation of being discussed was that they just. I think I said willy-nilly earlier, that's, I don't know if that's a legal term, but, yeah, there's a lot more to it than just saying, oh yeah, they work over there, so they get paid.
Well, when you came into this office, you were already a professional.
I was in the real estate industry as a salesperson, and then I had my, real estate appraiser. I was certified Indiana appraiser for several years. When I came into it, you had to be, it was required that you were a level 3 before you even signed your name to run to be the assessor. So that's why I went out on my own money, because I wanted to run for county assessor and pay for it myself. That was all the level 3 course.
On memories.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know how and why they're paid $500. Like I said, I don't mean to take away from anything, and like Judy said. These offices, and I think she talked about, and even Greg mentioned, the amount of work for the auditors, the council, the assessors, probably other offices that I'm not aware of, has shot through the roof. I mean, there's so much more, they change laws all the time. And, of course, you're all familiar with Senate Bill 1, which put a boatload on the auditor's office. Anyway,
I don't know if you said Greg addressed that yesterday.
yeah, that's what I meant. He talked about the council being several years prior, didn't have.
He was attending virtual.
Yes, yeah, correct.
Like, do any of your folks do commercial assessing?
We actually contract the commercial side out to Kirk Greller of Southern Indiana Appraisal. We could do it in-house, but we would need more people. And it's actually cheaper to hire, in this case, it's actually cheaper to hire out than just do the commercial and the industrial than hiring someone else new to work in our office.
Maybe a bigger county would be, to have somebody do that.
Most people, when it comes, most counties, when it comes to, the commercial industrial side, will hire it out. I would say the majority of counties, and I'm just shooting from the hip, I'm gonna say 80 or 90% hire everything out. So we do our own residential and agricultural assessing here in the county, which does save money. That we don't have to pay a big bill, because that's where the money's at. If you're a contractor, at least in small rural counties that doesn't have a lot of industrial, the money would be in residential homes, going door to door. But I just have a data collector deputy in-house in there. We won't get sidetracked, I just want to.
No, that-
So, you know, but
It is good.
Yeah, I think most of the conversations yesterday is just that age-old issue of valuing our employees in this building and how do we keep them, how do we reward them, how do we retain them?
I completely agree, and I'm all for giving more money to everybody.
And you can't help but have conversations about different rates. You already heard it this morning with the court
Right,
reporters, so.
yeah, you wouldn't believe, I know your guys' hands are kind of tied on this, but just what I would call people that were interested in working in the assessor's office, excuse me, and I would say, after having a conversation, here's the pay rate, and they're like, oh, well, I thought you guys need a lot more money than that. Make more than that where I'm at now, no, thank you. I've heard that several times. So, you know. Anyway.
All right,
As far as my assessor fund, not a whole lot changed on that. This would be the general fund. The deputy pay, we kind of refigured that, Auditor helped me out on that quite a bit, to refigure some of this, it'll go down just a little bit compared to what it was originally. Gene had more,
7.
yes. And she was level twos. I think that's the only thing major in that.
Okay, you actually, Peter said,
Over the last several years that, raises have been given out. I've always been asked, do I want, because I've not increased the Peterborough pay. They get $100 per meeting. We usually have 1 to 3 meetings a year. Typically one, I think we had 3 last year. I've always said no, and then, so this year I'm looking for a little bump on the Peterborough pay. I think it's $25 per meeting.
and they have to attend to get it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you better be.
And I know Brian is still our appointment.
Yes.
Who's your other two on there?
Christie Dissender
Christy Dysinger.
Christy, Jim still on there?
and, Jim Schultz, yes.
Okay.
A few times a year, maybe.
Typically one, last year, I think we met 3 times, and 2 years ago, I think we met twice. But, and I think that's typical in most counties. The larger counties, they have monthly meetings, so. A lot different. And a lot of counties, we don't have any members that have their level 1, 2, or 3. In those counties, they pay those Peterborough members quite well if they have a level 1, 2, or I'm sorry, level 2 or 3.
Assessment.
The assessment stayed pretty much the same, other than,
How's our-
increase.
Let's look at our, and we were putting tax rate in reassessment, right?
Mm.
I mean, for a few years we weren't, we were just,
As,
we were putting levy into reassessment. Right?
yes,
But there for a while, we were not a few years ago, so I was just curious how the revenues were.
I know you used to in 2015, I believe, prior to 2015, there was two streams of income that went into reassessment. And then one of them was eliminated, so now you only have that one.
And that's when we kind of shifted and started putting some property tax money in there as well.
Okay. And I know some of.
And you and I had a big set down on that when that was getting.
I'd love to sit down another time. Too, just, educational wise.
this received this year.
I guess I'm just looking for the non-tax revenue.
130,000 so far this year,
That includes one tax settlement.
yes,
How much was the tax settlement? You tell that?
and
What's the fund number?
1224.
We don't have a page on that one.
Here's the cash for.
Mhm.
Throw that in right now. How much of this was over revenue?
And like gateway on last year, too.
130,000,
Oh, all of it?
right?
130,689.32.
So everything that went in there is property tax.
Well, see, used to see that. They would have gotten part of CVET
Right,
Yeah.
and FIT, and we took that out. I mean, that was just small. Small numbers.
His budget's probably higher than what property tax we're gonna get on it next year.
Right, because we have received more than 50% of our taxes.
Yes.
I just expect,
Yeah,
a total of about 3 million left to come into taxes, honestly. That's in your book, the amount that, we expect to maybe get in for us. We traditionally pay more, and remember all of the,
all the
solar
solar.
properties are paid for both spring and fall.
last year we got 205 total. Year. We just have to pay attention to that to make sure we. I mean, I guess long term, does it make sense to carry all this in the reassessment? Fund? I mean, if the reassessment fund is all property tax dollars. I guess is my question, why is it in its own, why wouldn't we just have it in the general fund under the assessor's office?
I don't, I didn't.
Do you see what there used to be other revenue sources that went into this fund.
That's kind of why I want to sit down with you and discuss the history of it and going forward. But I know a lot of there, and don't quote me, I don't know it right now, but there's some state statutes stating that there has to be a reassessment.
That may very be.
So that may be the reason why. And it's supposed to be,
2015 is when they made major changes, right?
what?
We tied the fund the reassessment fund to 2015, so.
Yeah, that's when that second revenue stream I was talking about stopped. And then the money coming in kept going down each year, down.
Well, I think with 181,000 balance right now. And another property tax distribution will come in yet this year. he can have expenditures higher than his tax revenue and still survive without
For one more year.
one more year,
I think if I remember correctly, in Indiana code, it says something to the effect of if it's an expense associated with reassessment, like a cyclical going out, data collecting, that's what they try to put in here, and then they try to keep the other items in the general fund, the assessor general fund, although you can't bring over and pay deputies out of that because that's all reassessment as well.
Let's see, how many deputies are we paying out of reassessment? 3. So we got a level 3 deputy. Level 2, tell 2 level 2s.
So you've added 11,000 to your professional services.
Right, that's what I was getting ready to address there a moment ago. That is for some real estate appraisals that I want to get completed. The DLGF has handed down new cost tables for the assessors to use, and we're not 100% sure if those cost tables are correct. Each assessor is kind of doing their own thing with appraisal work, and what I'm doing is looking at appraising the Far Best turkey barns and also river birch. I want to compare market value appraisal with what the state is telling us. Here's your numbers that you need to use. Because we're finding confined feeding is just, in my opinion, way too high. So I want to get these appraisals done to make sure that the value that we're putting on those are correct. And I'm hoping to get those completed in January after the new funds come out.
Didn't we just do an additional for appeals on those 2 properties?
Yeah, they weren't appeals. That was another appraisal. That was for a hog building and a pole barn. Because if you have a pole barn, even a residential pole barn, expect it to go up with the new cost tables. And there was one built, perfect, great example for us to use, and we're gonna have that appraised. And then there again, compare this with the cost tables, because every assessor in the state is about to wring the DLGF's neck. They've hired a guy to basically take their Craftsman cost table numbers that we use, and he's using his own formulas to bring them up to what he thinks is correct, and we're thinking it's way too high. So I want to
So
get these
what we
appraised,
already did an additional for wasn't,
that not this, and let's
wasn't these,
no,
Okay.
and it wasn't an additional, it was a transfer.
So walk me through this. So you know, there's a lot of statewide news about exactly what you're talking about. A lot of these big ag properties
Right,
are being hammered. So they get their tax bill based off the new cost tables. They most certainly do some level of appeal.
they would appeal. I've already been told by Farbest and some others, we would appeal.
And because they're doing it in all the counties that they're in, based off these cost tables. And so just your process then is you're having a appraisal done. So you have your own data that either supports what they're saying or contradicts what they're saying, or
Right, that's exactly,
represents your interest.
yes.
Not necessarily to go into it to fight against them or fight for them, but just to fight for truth on.
And what I'm trying to do is avoid appeals, because appeals can get expensive, especially when it goes to state level. But the appraisals, if we go to state level, which I think it would in a heartbeat, they would appeal to Peter Boa's decision. And it goes to the state, then
Tax court?
if you don't show up, if you don't show up with an appraisal, you automatically lose. That's me saying that, if Farbest were to show up with an appraisal, who would say that their appraisal is correct? It's just that appraiser. So you've always got to have an appraisal of your own as an assessor when you go to state tax court to counteract anything, because you have no idea what's going on that other side. So you want something that you know is accurate and you go there. So I'm trying to do this early to correct any corrections that may be needed to our local cost approach on these confined feeding buildings. And then if there are corrections, then I will do that countywide.
And then if I need that appraisal, I will already have it as of January first assessment date that can be used going forward in tax court. Because if I don't do anything, I know that's where we're headed, so we can get it now. Correct any cost tables that may need to be corrected and try to avoid that altogether. So one way or another, we're gonna have to have an appraisal. And I did talk to, I know an MAI appraiser, I spoke with him and, the two appraisals. I've got, I've got one at $5,000 and another one at $4,000. That was 9 total, and then the other two was for, a Nexus, they're an attorney group that do real estate, basically like a vendor to counties. And I've already hired them to work on some duplexes here in town. I think I spoke with Judy this a year or so ago. These duplexes, they're asking for 100% exemption status because they're saying that it's a lower income, rent, controlled rent. But we have found out not all of them's that way. If you have, say they have 10 units, they may have 3 that's lower income and they're trying to push all that off. So we've hired this, Nexus to take care of this. They got back to me yesterday and they're looking to make a deal. So if we wouldn't have hired them and we would have granted the exemption, then we wouldn't get any property tax revenue for the city of Petersburg or neither from the duplexes here in town. So that $2,000 that makes up the 11 is going forward if I were to need that for anything else. And the way it looks is we'll contract with next year as well.
But both of those are outside of Kurt Reller's.
Yes, exactly. In fact, this kind of stuff is over my head and it's actually over Kurt's head too. So that's why we went to the experts and they're good. They're in tax court all the time.
That seems cheap.
Sure. That's me guessing on hourly rates.
These two, those the ones that down, Viper rented.
New Hope, yes, correct, yeah. Yeah, they are wanting 100% exempt status. They've paid their tax bills. So they're not behind. If they were granted that exempt status, they would not have paid those tax bills. Now, the way it looks is that they may be partially exempt for the ones that they do have the rent control on. And if that ends up going through the PETA-BOA and the PETA-BOA board agrees upon that, then we would have to do like a refund for that percentage because they paid, I think, 100% tax. And we're not looking.
I thought they were 100% not for profit anyway. I thought those were all.
No, not, and that's what we're trying to find out. That's why we're doing the consulting to make sure that. Because if we were to just say, okay, you're exempt, the county would lose big time. And so we fought it a little bit. It's been going on we're in our year now. And I finally said, okay, let's bring in the big guns. So yeah, we hired Nexus to come in and help us out. And I'm not looking to gig anybody. I just want it to be fair. So.
You don't want them to gig people.
Exactly. That's exactly why we're doing it. Yeah. It's not fair to you or you when, if they get an exemption and should. Yeah, it costs a little bit more money up front, but then over time, they pay the taxes that's made up.
Or all online public have an exemption.
Most churches, most fraternity
Churches.
do, yeah, most fraternity organizations, you have qualifications. It has to be educational. I forget now, educational, religious, there's different exemptions and you have to fit all those. One of them is charitable, and that's what they're asking for on this particular duplex that I'm speaking of. They're requesting charitable exemption because they say they have lower rents and all this kind of stuff. They're trying to help the people. Well, we found out there's a set of rule, and I didn't even know this till we hired these consultants, there's a set of things that you have to follow to be charitable, and they don't check all those boxes, so.
I was wondering that where it's from.
Yeah, they don't fit all the requirements. It looks good on paper, and they even quote other cases in tax court. But when you read through those cases, it's like, well, does this one fit that, you know? So that's why we did the hiring. Boy, yeah, it's
I don't mean to delay this conversation.
Yeah.
But I have one other thing that I would love for you to do if you're not doing it. And you've heard me say this many times, and I've had conversations with commissioners about this.
where you're going.
The fact that we do not have a building permit program. I would love to know from your office over the course of a calendar year during reassessment, the number of times and the value, the number of times that you find unassessed real estate, properties, buildings, and what the assessment value is for those buildings.
Going forward, we could try to keep track of that somehow.
Yeah.
But I think there's been a misnomer in the past that the assessor's office did not want building permits. That's why they were done away with. That is completely false. That is not true at all, because those building permits actually tell us they.
They trigger you to go
Yeah,
see what's going
exactly.
on.
So we go look at it, and so yeah, I could talk for hours on building permits, different ways of doing it, different things to put in the building permit that would help us out. There's even software that you can purchase that will show us new buildings that have been built just from the aerial photography. But yeah, there's several out there. The dollar amount, I don't know. Most of the time, it's whole buildings and things like that. We do have the health department from time to time will send us a list and says, hey, these people require a septic permit. So we're like, oh, okay, someone wants a septic, let's go check it out. It's either a pole building or a house or whatever. And so that helps, but yeah, if we could get more people to do that, that'd be great. But yeah, you wouldn't believe the letters I get in the mail, anonymous letters saying so-and-so's building something. I'll get texts from, they're like screenshots on Facebook where someone says, hey, look at our new basement. And, you know, we know nothing about it, so. And that's how we find out on this. What's that?
In that anonymous letter, PS is, can you ask them to mow their weeds?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing a lot of times that's neighbors, but, yeah, and sometimes the big, beautiful pole buildings that we find out about that, and if someone's smart and they watch it, they know our cyclical reassessment cycle, they'll build it later that year when we're done, and if we don't pick it up, that's 3 more years that we can pick up.
Now, if you come 4 years later and determine that pole barn was built 3 years ago, don't you have the power to go back and charge the
I
tax?
do, we don't do that, there's a lot of red tape, and they're not always honest with you. You wouldn't believe, people that I won't go into great detail, people you think are very honest, they'll lie right to your face if they say, oh, we just built that, you know, last fall. That happens all the time, so it's not even worth us going down that road. Now,
A lot
if it
of
was a
time and
house,
resource too to prove it otherwise.
do one.
It's a lot of time and resource to prove it otherwise.
Yes, and aerial mapping will help us a ton, but it's only updated like every 4 years. Google Maps, and now we're actually on the Apple Maps, like you pull up Apple Map on your Apple phone. They have a website, Apple Maps now, and those are actually more recent than Google, we just recently found that out. And our whole solar panel situation, as far as what panels are on what parcels. When Bob goes out and looks at this, it's hard to tell, you know, he's looking at a map or whatever. Does that parcel over there have panels on it? It's hard to tell where those property lines are at. If you have an aerial map, we know where the property lines are at. And if those solar panels are on this parcel or that parcel, up until a month ago, we had nothing like that at all. We've only got part of it right now, and that's through Apple Maps online there. And so we're waiting for our next update, which is next year from WTH. And we'll be able to tell those parcels, which ones have the panels, which one didn't. things like that.
But my point on the building permit question is, you were talking about the treating everyone fair, and there is absolutely nothing fair about someone's property. I'm not trying to raise their property taxes, I'm trying for them to be assessed for the value of what they have done to their property.
Right.
And when your neighbor builds a pole barn or a pool or whatever it is, and it's not assessed, then that's uncaptured value that keeps everybody else's tax rates higher. And
Exactly.
when they're fairly assessed, everyone's tax rate's lower. So again, I would love for you to just keep a log going forward from, oh, we found a construct, some level of construction that was not that was not captured until we needed to do the reassessment. Or that we got you got your anonymous letter, or what, and you're gonna know what the value of that is after you assess it. I mean, I think that would be a incredible tool to demonstrate.
Yeah, a lot of it will be, they'll say so-and-so's building something and we'll go out there and it will still be being built.
Sure.
So, then it falls to the following year as being the assessed value date, but yeah, we'll work on something and try to get you some.
And to me, that's just a touch different. What's that?
That would help our office.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about septics and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, they get with us from time to time and send us a list, which is very helpful, thank you, and, but that's for typically, something big,
Yeah.
that they put in a septic, and there's things being built to where you wonder, does that have a septic system?
Surely, after.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean to get sidetracked.
Yeah.
But other than that 11,000, I think reassessments for the most part, pretty much the same.
I agree with what Greg said. We could let this stay this year, but I think this is something that.
Yeah,
It's gonna require more levy to go into this fund.
And maybe DLGF will slice the pie different. At a point.
In times past, I had tried to move things from, our assessor account in the general fund to reassessment.
Sure.
Because always, I was under the impression that it always had more money and you were trying to cut in the general fund. Or like we had 2 postage accounts, 2 office supply accounts, so we could move that to the reassessment. But now I'm hearing from you, maybe we need to move some back, so I think that's definitely worth maybe some discussion going forward.
When it was funded by different sources, it made sense. Now that it's all coming from property tax, I don't know that it makes a big difference to me.
John, just FYI, building permit stopped in 2018.
And to me, I kind of understand if the commissioners, if they don't have an inspection program, that's a different discussion. An inspector is to me is different than the permit that notifies us that there are improvements.
I agree. If you were to ever come up with anything building permit related, it has to have teeth, like a major penalty, because then nobody will fill anything out that doesn't have teeth to it. And like I said, we're not trying to get people, we just want to know what's being built, so it's fair.
I don't disagree with you. What's the biggest building or assessed value you found that wasn't assessed? You don't have to name names, I'm just saying an example.
Shoot from the hip, there was a pole building, I'm guessing 200,000 plus one time. There's another pole building that's went up that, I didn't even know about it till I was coming back home from Walmart here a while back and saw that. It's like, here, check on that, come to work the next morning, well, I knew about it.
Houses or barns?
These are pole barns. That's usually what we find is real nice pole barns. Typically if it's a house, and there are some of these that,
Pole barn houses.
so I'm sorry, just a pole barn.
Accessory structure.
Very nice pole barn, yeah. Some of you go in, they have basketball courts inside. I mean, they're really nice. But I'm thinking of two pole buildings right now. One, we've not even assessed yet, and that's the one that appraisal, that transfer for the appraisal. It's a big one. I want our guys to do our value, and then I want to see what their value is and compare it. But yeah, I'd say $250,000 easily on pole, and a lot of pole buildings nowadays, they're going up. You know, there's a lot of value in a pole building. There are some houses that, my father-in-law here a month ago told me, he said, hey, did you see this house being built out here? And I'm like, I didn't know anything about it, drove out there, and it's brand new home going up. So whether or not we can get that from the health department, we don't know. If it wasn't for the health department sending septic things from time to time, we wouldn't know anything at all, and even a home.
But these people really aren't doing anything wrong, because
There's no process.
there's no
No
process.
process.
Well,
We get calls all the time and says that, you know, what permitting is needed, and I'm like, in Pike County, we don't have any, and they are dumbfounded. They actually want me, I created a letter to write. To send it
To release to the contractor.
Exactly, so no, Pike County does not have
So
a
they won't
county
get
like
fined.
that. Now, in Petersburg, it's incorporated area.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if you do an improvement to your real estate, you're obligated by Indiana statute to tell the assessor about
Nobody does.
it. And there's a form to fill out,
Nobody
Do
will
that.
fill it out. Yeah, we
and they
can
can
ask
be
them.
penalized monetarily if they don't do that
I
form.
think it's $50.
I was thinking 100. It's nominal.
Yeah, and,
We get quite a bit of backlash from it because if a home is built before the septic, then we have a $500 fine. And so we've been getting a lot of backlash on that, but if we don't know it's being built, you know, you're going in reverse.
exactly, there's another reason for building permits, right?
Yeah. Some places have what they call some places don't have a fine. They have a after the fact permit, which just happens to be like triple the cost of the before. Of the before permit.
You know, but the average person building a pole barn doesn't know there's more.
Exactly.
That's exactly what
I
they're.
mean,
Yeah, they don't.
Well, my
99%
builder didn't tell me.
completely innocent.
Right.
I wouldn't know that. I didn't know very check what I built.
There is.
Would you go assess max?
Don't
Right?
know. Yeah.
All right.
Well, one of the problems, like in my case, I tore down a rental house. I was 5 years ago, built this pole barn 3 months later. That was a whole other process, I don't, but I can't, I mean, so. You know, but I didn't try to.
You didn't put a tarp over it?
No. Make the pole through a house was.
Yeah.
Be done, Mike.
I think so. Good discussion.
Yep.
Yeah, good information.
We were actually ahead till you got here.
Yeah, so.
We got it.
All right, Natalie, you're up.
Let's see. That's everything pretty high as usual, and salaries are just based off of the spreadsheet here provided by the auditor's office. About the only thing I left, I did leave mosquito labor in a line item. We currently do not have anyone for that position, but figured if something would come up, it'd be nice to have that funding in the line item, so.
So last year we did not have a budget Or, I mean, we zeroed it out last year because you were in the same situation, right? Or is that because it was in-house?
No, I believe Kay, before Kay left, she did some spraying. But she's been. the
But she
last-
was, but she was paid as an employee, it wasn't a contractor.
Yeah, I guess that's
So there wasn't,
the labor cost.
right,
Yeah.
so it's been, yeah. These last 2 years, I don't think we've had anything budgeted for mosquito control labor.
Group insurance. Isn't it more than, what's one person's group health, Judy? 23 something?
23 cents.
It's in my folder over there.
But it's in your note.
Well, there's only 65,000 here for 3 people.
Some of
of
it
it's
is in
in-
health first.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then
Then never mind. I just thought she had a number that was short there.
There's 12,000 in, the 1161.
Okay.
Just do what they're doing, that's awesome.
Didn't make it out.
So it would be this.
Load it in.
Times 2 times 26, and then you'd have to add 688 times 12.
You're just figuring out the per
Person.
person number.
23,250. Something like that.
466.30 times 52.
Wait, no, Judy, you don't wanna use that one. That's highways.
458.30 times 52. I keep forgetting. Doesn't make sense. They're higher than everybody.
23, 30 something.
And then you gotta add in the health insurance or life insurance at 688 times 12.
Okay.
$23, 9, 14, 16. Good point for word.
They had those figures, I think, used in that.
Not a Natalie discussion at all, but just when we have these conversations about salaries, it's
No, I
still think that
I
is-
saw 65,000 and 3 employees. The light bulb said, that's not enough.
that, I guess where I was going was when we have all these conversations about what hourly wages are and all that, it's just. A lot of employees do not have to pay for healthcare here like they would if they were at another employer where they maybe got higher wage. All right. I don't see anything else on 1159. What are they telling you on health first revenue?
Exactly the same thing as last year, right? For 1160.
Oh, I didn't know he was talking to you. Yes, it's exactly the same.
Even for. Or it wasn't done.
$80,440.
Is the revenue?
And you. You're about 81,547.
Saw that.
What's revenue?
80,440.
No, I'm sorry, no, it's
I don't
not.
think that's
It's
right.
$81,547.18.
The revenue.
That's,
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at 2026 on this, but this is the updated. So it's $81,547.18.
So you're matching the,
Yeah. To the dollar.
is there any, what's the cash balance? You're only permitted to keep such a certain amount, aren't you?
they didn't spend so. Now, we
That's
have
what I'm saying.
to spend in our 1159, we have to maintain our level of funding.
Well, First Indiana right now has $312,000 in it.
300.
I did an additional,
Yeah,
so it might be a little,
for salary. Yeah. But as of July 31, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So it's got a pretty strong balance compared to. Budget.
Well, they
I thought-
didn't make them give back all they, they got a lot more money.
In that first year, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and they did not make them give it back, and we did not spend it, you had plans.
I thought there was some requirement to spend a certain percentage of it that you,
Well, there's a requirement for 1159 to maintain
for
the
11,
amount of money that we've been spending.
okay,
for 1161, we have,
that's what guarantees you getting health,
1161.
getting health first. Okay, that may be what I'm thinking of. Cause they did, cause that was part of that legislation. They didn't want to give counties the new health first money and then have counties cut what they spend out of their own fund
Right.
right,
to rely on the state and take away their own investment.
And have you heard any more about the next year, not this year, this coming year, but 28, having the program completely? Some of what I have,
On health first,
the new 1160.
nothing would surprise me out of the state, right?
Yeah, it's just, they really jerk it around. That regard.
Yeah. Hey, how's your board doing? Good?
Yeah.
Everyone's active?
yes, I actually just added, board members, that's always good.
Good deal. All right,
It's a full board now.
anything else for?
And then done.
Yes. For the, so, onboarding, check on it, we always do the.
And you budgeted one more fund, right?
I do have my emergency preparedness budget in front of me as well.
Oh, that bioterror is
Yeah.
8120.
It's 8128.
And that's grant supported.
Yes,
$5,000 more this year, this coming year.
Office supplies.
yeah, well, we try to do like storage stuff, we have the trailer, I don't know if you know that or not, we have an emergency preparedness trailer. So we have to keep it stocked and stuff like that. But yeah, you're right.
That's just the placeholder.
Yeah.
We do use that though to pay for that generator at the OPG. Maintenance on that.
So it's where it can easily be thrown, could be better.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because it's a costly.
Is that just kept, I mean, since you've moved out of there
It's still our site,
for,
counties, yeah,
Oh, for
yeah, so,
catastrophe.
So if the tornado would have taken your building out that you're currently in, could easily move it into there still.
I don't know the answer to that, I think it's there for the public. So we rented that from the school corporation when we had our office there, so
So we have an issue with the school wants to sell that.
we will move that generator. It will not stay,
So we could have a potential expense if the school decided to sell that building.
right? So again.
And that's the only thing we would move, the generator.
Yes,
That's all we have there.
yes.
Is the school aware that that's the county's generator?
I did talk to the superintendent, I probably need to go over that with Dana.
Just in case they have appraisals.
Yes.
Last, anything on health? Misty, you're up. Nick, I was gonna say, Nick, do you have a service? Misty, are you okay with that? Yeah, okay. I should have asked you that before, Nick, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was watching the time and it's hopefully gonna run a little long, so. How are you guys?
Okay. You didn't just get dressed up for us.
Yeah, I look like a court appointed attorney, but.
Well, that's $120 an hour. No wonder it's not, no wonder it's never, yeah.
I just want to start off by saying I think everything's been running smooth. I mean, the feedback I've gotten from EMS, fire department, police, sheriff's department, our response time is pretty well on point, very quick. What they said, that's one of my, one of the things I wanted to wanted to be on point when I first took over. I think, like I said, everything's been running smooth. I don't think you guys have any complaints or issues. We'll say Misty and Audra will probably say I don't check my email enough, but we try to.
You didn't even say that about me too.
Trying to balance the Peter Holman and Coroner's office. They do go hand in hand, which is great for me, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to put forth time and effort into both at the same time.
Well,
So in the general fund, no big changes, but we, 25.6, how many autopsies is that?
Autopsies are 2,000 apiece. So that'll be
12-ish.
about 12, yeah, 12, 30, yeah, 13.
$2,000.
Yeah, I did ask for 2,000 extra. And it would be, so far, I have not, knock on wood, I have not used up the whole budget for autopsies. And that 2,000 more than anything is just a buffer for me to not have to come in here and ask you guys for additional funds for that. Yes. What's that? Yeah.
No, I mean, it's not.
Oh, my.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wrote it down. No.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Yep,
It's on there.
301, good. Yep.
You didn't end up paying your insurance, though.
Yes. Mhm. For the truck? Yeah.
But county picked that up. Did they not?
I think I think last year I did a transfer. I think there's 500 left over in the account.
Well, wasn't that grouped in when they,
That was grouped in.
yeah,
Okay, the commissioners.
That's in the commissioner's budget.
yeah, when they pulled all the vehicles,
Help take that
because
500 down.
Doty's wasn't giving us good breakdowns on, I couldn't give it. Yeah,
So you're gonna scratch that line.
But 500.
so that's that deductible, that he's got that budget for a deductible,
Oh.
just in case he has a claim.
Like for windshield, cause that. Like a cost.
I believe the 500,
Says deductible.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd say that's what that's for.
okay.
And I know deductible much higher on our vehicle with our current insurance.
think so.
I think it's like 2,500 or something like that. I thought it was pretty high.
Probably say vision.
Yeah.
Comprehensive, I know. But the note in the 2026 column says the insurance went to commissioners $500 deductible left. So. That is.
It's a good question for Christie.
So maybe we should leave it.
I think I put, make a note here to ask commissioners on it and see how the other departments are handling that.
Nick, your, the autopsy fees, and I've typically that's just when something's suspicious or mysterious or unexplained. Have those.
Yes, yeah, I don't, in a murder, suicide, vehicle accident,
Right.
not every suicide you have to legally autopsy. Because some that are witnessed. Some that it is, a note is left, it's very obvious, but anything suspicious whatsoever, yes, I would.
Like in the case of, say there wasn't murder or something that the police were involved in, just do your funds on pay for that.
Yes, correct. Yeah, but I don't autopsy every single death certificate I sign.
Oh, yeah.
I've been around this long enough and feel like I know enough about autopsies and causes of death and things like that, that.
Right.
You pretty well do what a doctor does, you go over the medical records of the individual. I've had cases where, you have a 95, 96-year-old woman passed away in a recliner and there's no need whatsoever to autopsy. If a doctor won't sign her, she hasn't seen a doctor in years and nobody will sign it, and I end up doing it, there's no need to post a 95-year-old lady. It's pretty obvious, for the cause.
Anything else in general? Is there, that's all you have?
Short.
Truck doing all right?
What's that?
The truck okay?
Yeah, I got a chip in the windshield a few weeks ago. I was coming back from Winslow from.
Well, maybe we need that $500.
Yeah, I talked to Christy about it. I turned it in as soon as I got back to the funeral home and, she told me, she said, just find some rates or quotes and things like that. And I talked to Safe Flight, talked to, outfit out of Vincent's up here. Of course, Safe Flight's gonna undercut about anybody and I gotta measure it out, see if they can just fill it in or see if they need the whole windshield replaced, so. But it's not like my truck. I drive my truck with a cracking windshield, because as soon as you get replaced, you're gonna get another one, so it's. Okay, we're good?
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's get, Misty through and then we'll. Maybe take a break. Location 4. Anything to note, Misty, that's really different?
For my general fund, not really. All I did was move money around a little bit, though I didn't ask for more, just because, I am gonna need toner cartridges, so I tried to increase that just a little bit. And, there was an increase in recorder dues, so I moved some money from postage. And, the HBM copier that I got last year, I wasn't aware that that had to be in a separate line item. So I moved money from travel to that for the contractual agreement there. So everything else I think is about the same. Oh, and then I had to have a line item for, software, 35, 3535 for software. So I moved money from travel expense to there. Otherwise, everything else is the same.
Standard raises.
Revenue doing about the same.
Good, yeah, we've increased, so lots of.
After all the solar and stuff. What's
Yeah.
on now?
Well, there's a southern project now,
Oh,
so
I
we have lots of searchers in for it now, and I guess there's a high-speed internet project. So we've had a lot of searchers for that also, so yes, our revenue is still good, we've had a lot of new clients, so.
Bills.
Yep.
So we will go to enhancement fund or perpetuation fund.
Perpetuation fund,
It's next on the agenda. Enhancements actually, I don't care whichever one you go to.
I've got perpetuation here, so.
Alright.
Not much different than that either. The only thing is, I am gonna try to replace 2 more office chairs. And I did, in case printer fees would accrue, I did budget in $500 excess for that. Otherwise,
You probably explain this every year, because I know we kept it in there, that miscellaneous expense line item.
miscellaneous is just, basically, if we would need to, replace one of our big ticket items, that 500 is budgeted in there just because we do, appropriate it now, where, before Jeff, it was not, so that was just always something in case we would have to have a big ticket item, which we're gonna talk about when we get to 1154.
But the idea is you can just transfer that where you.
Exactly, yeah, it's already appropriated. I don't think it's ever needed to be used.
And honestly, these funds are really at your
Yeah.
control.
Yeah,
That has a current cash balance of 169,650.
yes, actually, with end of July, before expenses, after I budgeted, I think it was actually 173 before expenses, because I went ahead and put in the revenue of this last month. So it put me at like a 173 something, I think. So yes, we're staying steady because I do have quite a bit. Yeah, 175, 293, 92. At the end of July, before expenses. That was just my revenue comes in at the end of July, and then I can see.
Excuse me a second, Darren, we are just a touch behind. I think what I want to do is get Denny out of here and then take a break.
Okay.
So I think you got at least 15 minutes, so if you need to spend that, else, just. I mean, you probably got more like 20 minutes,
Okay.
25 minutes. I tell you what, I will text you when we take our break,
Sounds good.
and then that'll be about a 10-minute break.
All right, see you.
That way-
in 20 minutes.
Sorry, Misty, didn't mean to.
That's okay, yeah, so it's like 175 after revenue for July. But I do have an appropriation that's gonna be asked for. It was too much for this last meeting, but I told you I could wait till next month. My bills have actually went up with the increase in Laredo usage. So, we'll talk about that, when we get to 1154, but, with increased revenue is increased bills, so.
Is your fee structure where it needs to be to cover
Yes,
everything?
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So the pro church fee is going up to. Or the subscription,
The monthly subscription did go up, yeah, yeah. And we did do away with unlimited minutes, so. And that was last year, so.
Yeah.
Do you wanna move on to
1154.
54?
I did go ahead and increase in 1154, from what we were just talking about. I had budgeted for about $1,000 a month, for the bills, for the usage. But this year they are averaging about $1,250.
A month?
So I increased that to 1,500 in 1154,
15,000, yeah.
to 15,000, yeah. And then I'll have to ask for an additional appropriation next month to get me through the rest of this year with the increase of about $250 a month right now, so. And then the only other thing, I had talked to the State Board of Accounts at our conference, to make sure, right now, the Bookeye scanner and the printer that Jeff purchased when he came in, the printer has a end of life tag on it, meaning if anything major goes out on this printer, I'm up a creek. And about a month and a half ago, right after all the Gray Farm surveys come in, we started having some issues with the scanner, not so much the printer. But the problem with that is the company that Jeff purchased the scanner from, they are going out of business and are actually being sued at the present time by some of the counties that had like the service agreements with them. So if something, I'm using it almost every day, and it's really kind of sketchy. But if I'm only using it for books, it's not that big of a deal. But if I have so many surveys coming in, I've got to do something about a survey scanner. So this would be a huge enhancement to our office. It could do both. So when my printer does die, this would be the backup. It's a wide format scanner, printer, surveyor. It as actually, like now, I have to actually transfer, if I scan and print anything, take a flash drive, transfer it to my computer, upload it from that. This would be directly a direct import. I mean, the surveyors are just ecstatic about this. I've got a list here if you guys would want it. We went up and looked at this is through Eastern Engineering. They did a demonstration for us at DuBois County. They just purchased the same printer. There's about 25 counties in the state that has the exact same survey scanner. And it can do like up to your large, or else, I mean, we could even, if somebody brings in the 8x10s, we can run them through and it's automatically uploaded.
You're talking like 30-inch.
Yeah, it's huge, yeah. It's the size of a survey, like a platter scanner. So
Healthy, right?
And how much does that cost you?
it's gonna be $416 a month to rent. A 5-year agreement, which the commissioners did approve. It was a much better deal than buying it outright. Because everything, if you buy it outright, anything is on top of that. So you're stuck
You already
in.
have it?
No, I can, as soon as I know I can get it, I can lock in the fee though, like the price in case it would go up. The commissioners looked at everything and they agreed that renting was the better option than buying it. Yeah, if you buy it outright, everything is
It's on you.
all us. They charge you for everything then. But they do have a 4-hour window where if something goes down, they guarantee somebody's there to help you fix it, or like customer service, whatever. So,
I guess my question was, are you waiting until January to do this?
oh yeah, we're gonna wait till January to purchase it, but I can lock it in.
What happens if your old one goes down?
That's what I was wondering.
Oh, well,
We're trying to,
It sounds.
I'm thinking, if you're always acting pretty shaky,
yeah, we're just praying it
You're off.
doesn't.
maybe,
I mean,
maybe you should do it now and we just budget for it then.
I'm sure Jeff can attest to this, but your office has changed so much.
Oh, yeah, it has.
In the last 10 years.
Change probably since I left.
Yeah, I mean,
We're swamped pretty much all the time, so yeah. And the surveys take so much time, and right now. This would cut our time in half at least, you know, we have this.
So in that last one, your big printer does this, yeah, completely out of it.
He said, like, we've got a little bit extra ink, but he said, if anything goes out on that printer, they're not making it.
yeah, but that plan is.
Yeah.
Not there.
It's still there.
So,
And the book I either, right now.
Well, that's, of course, that stuff's hard for me to think, that's like almost eight, so.
He told me I could make a living by probably driving around and telling people how to use that thing. So, yeah,
Steve Morty.
yeah.
thank you, like,
So can you charge professionals that come in and need a copy?
We do, anything over 11 by 17 is $5, that's just state statute fees, so, yeah,
that goes into your perpetuation.
yes, yeah.
So we had a sidebar conversation over here. You're holding that 5,000 in the perpetuation fund. For miscellaneous expense, even in this year's budget, right? That's untouched.
Yes. But I can take it out of enhanced access if we could do next year, which would save my perpetuation. Cause this is an enhancement to the office. And I don't have that allotted in my enhanced access for this year.
So you would still need this to pay the monthly fees in.
Yes, yeah,
Next year.
next year.
Right,
Yeah.
but should she go ahead and get it moving now?
But I'm saying, if you wanna go ahead and get it moving,
Come to us next month, right?
she wouldn't,
Or she wouldn't have to.
she wouldn't have to, if she can spend direct from that fund.
Okay.
If,
I could get it moving, yeah, that's fine, and then just pay
Get
for
the
it.
problem fixed instead of waiting for it to
yeah,
cause a headache.
but makes your life easier.
Oh, yeah, definitely make our lives easier.
I mean, you don't have to immediately, but you know, you can start in October or what, you know.
And this is another thing, if that book I goes down, like right now, I'm trying to save us $16,000 doing 11 books myself after I got the quote on it. And uploading that, if that goes down, I'm gonna have that expense also, because it'd be cheaper to buy another scanner, do it in-house than it is to send them out. So, but the surveys are what's the most important right now, so. So I have your permission to go ahead and,
Well, you don't need it if you use that
Yeah,
5,000 fund.
that's true, yeah.
So I bet we would highly encourage you to get moving. I think
Okay.
maybe the general consensus.
All right.
If anyone here knows, I do, you don't have to have work right together, or flash drive together. It just slows down that process.
Yeah, and we even had like one accidentally got biased as far as getting it uploaded. I mean, it was recorded and everything, but then the image, you had so many at one time, the image, when they went to look at it, the image wasn't there yet. You know, we just have a generic form, and I don't want that to happen again, you know what I mean? So,
And you copy a survey, it's multiple pages one time.
oh, yeah,
So you get $5 for each one.
we
Each
get
page?
five, after the first page, each additional page is $5, yes. So,
It ought to pay for itself.
yeah, oh, yeah, it should, yeah.
1,100 pages,
Mhm.
at $5 a page with pages.
Yeah, you have to get with Judy if there's any, I don't know if there's any problem paying for that out of that miscellaneous expense.
Just,
Line item.
we would transfer it to the right category, just so we can track it.
And like I said, I gotta come back next month anyway, so maybe we can just add it on if we need to. All
But
right,
it would be a transfer, right?
It'd be a transfer.
Yeah, transfer non-position.
but, oh yeah, and it wouldn't be over 1,000, so you could do it, so, okay, yeah.
No, 500, well,
Oh, well, then I might need to, if there's a setup.
but you couldn't have this. It would come to the meeting, but.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the 400 and something a month, right?
$400 something a month, but there is a setup fee, so I think that would push it over to $500 for the first time.
It's not actually the equipment, it's the leasing.
Yeah, yeah.
With the maintenance and contract.
Yeah.
You'd have to get enough to finish the year
Yes, yeah,
which would easily be over the 500.
yeah.
And several months plus your setup fee.
Now you might need to transfer 2,000 or so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions?
No,
Yeah.
Can they get that quick?
Huh?
Can they bring one in quickly?
He said they could get it really quick, so, yeah.
There you go.
all right. Let's,
What?
Yeah, before they change their mind.
All right, so am I dismissed?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
am I dismissed? Yeah. All right, Denny, let's get you done since you've been patiently waiting and then we'll take our break.
Morning, everybody.
Hello. Have the one fund. With the additional Adobe subscription. Very level, looks like, with the exception of, some change in instruction, schooling, the VA benefits manual, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's, it's a manual about 6 inches thick. They put out every year. The state recommends I get it like every other year.
Questions for Denny?
How's to do, office coordinator,
It's working out pretty good. I mean, it's,
you're there 1 2 years.
2 years in October.
You don't have no issues finding you.
Had any problems finding me?
Yeah.
No.
Do people from this side of the county complain? Oh, they have to drive over there.
Yeah. Well, they did it first, but this past year, they really haven't said nothing. People in the southern end of the county, they love it.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
But it's, it's more centrally located for everybody.
Okay. And it works well for you. I mean, it's a nice office.
Yeah. Everything's nice. Real.
What's that supposed to?
Well, I mean, when I was over there, I didn't even I had a little sliver I could look outside. Now I've got a window I can actually look out. Little better. Trying to be.
You can see a tornado coming.
Yeah.
I had just missed, I'd left town 10 minutes before that even hit.
Yeah. You're really scary.
Then we also have that burial of soldiers line item in the commissioner's budget, that's usually never used. But that is a placeholder, I don't know that you're really involved with that.
You talking about the burial market repair?
No, the commissioners actually have a line item for an actual burial, should it be required for.
Yeah, so that's the county. Burial.
Right. Soldiers burial,
Yeah.
if required.
You know, when all that happens, so. I mean,
Yeah.
Everything goes through the.
Yeah.
It's just not in his budget, it's in
Yeah,
the,
how like 250 or better,
there's $3,000 in there as a placeholder, I mean,
200.
200.
that's what you contribute towards it?
200 is what the
Yeah.
county allowance is.
They pay 200 for every veteran's burial.
And then we also pay,
Gets used.
Well, it's rare that. Is that's for, I thought that was like for an active duty, someone,
No, I don't think so.
no,
That's always been used.
any veterans. And then also when we have monument, when they come out and put the markers on or they charge us $100, so that comes out of there too.
out of that commissioner's line item. Then you have a burial marker repair line item, so
Which is
something's damaged or
if something is damaged or
disappears.
sometimes we have markers that are. They're just so dirty, need to be cleaned. Or sometimes the marker comes off the monument and they need to be reattached, so.
I didn't know how that worked on the burial.
I think that goes back to when I worked for the state board of accounts in the late seventies, early eighties. Which I think it's still the same number, $200.
Danny, thanks for all you do. I know it's kind of it's once in your pilgrimage to come in here to do this.
It's okay. One thing I asked too is, if you know any disabled veterans, just remind them you're there, that I'm there. But actually, the property tax thing changed July 1st. It went from being an exemption to now it's a tax credit. We need to redo all that paperwork, so they need to come to me first. And we're just trying to get the word out, because we don't want to let anybody slip through.
So
And
if
it's
they
not
don't
just,
do it, they're gonna have a tax bill, if they don't do their new paperwork.
if they don't do the paperwork, they're not gonna get that credit.
Is that in the newspaper?
Yeah, and we assume that the state says that they are gonna,
Send them letters.
well, no, they're just gonna convert it over. However they said that. But we don't wanna assume, you know what I'm saying, so.
Probably a good conversation to have with Mike Goodpaster. You know, from your perspective on or no, you apply the deductions.
Is it, can you run a report
Nancy
Yeah.
has ran a report on
and give
it,
him a checklist?
for the ones that's already applied for it, she sent you, right?
Yeah,
But if there's somebody out there that didn't
Well,
even know.
can you run the previous credit they used to
The
get, or
deduction.
the deduction, can you run it for the previous deduction?
yeah, they gave me that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have a list of everybody that's on there.
You know who's entitled.
If they signed it before.
If they were already claiming.
Now, is that somebody, Danny, that's totally disabled or, partial disabilities? and things like that?
They have to have a VA disability of 10% or higher.
So a lot of people.
That could be.
Yeah.
Bill. But see, sometimes, you know, you've got people that maybe even go over to Du Bois County and do all their VA stuff. And then never even come over here and file for that tax credit. Because they do everything else in the VA at Du Bois County. And it's not just for the disabled vet. If you've got a widow of a disabled vet that they was receiving before, they also need to come in too. They still qualify for that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
How long do you guys need for a break?
I'm gonna learn to the office, get coffee right now. You know, said in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Do we want to start at 10 after or 15 after? 10 after? Start 10 after.
Is that okay?
Or they.
Sure.
Copies.
Maybe.
Across here. All right, I'll just think I'm gonna.
Yeah, okay.
Well, and say the longer you put that off, the better you are, because